Good morning, one and all. Yesterday's lecture, we have seen how to draw the speed diagram and kinematic diagram. It is also known as gearing diagram. In today's lecture, we will see how to draw the ray diagram. Okay, we will see the details how to draw the ray diagram. Okay, this is the ray diagram. Ray diagram will show the speed of the transmission line. Okay, we'll see the ray diagram. Before going on that, you know there are some speed ratio are given or limitations are given. Here I have considered this is the two shafts. Okay, and on the first shaft there are two gears. The input N2 and N1 are given. Okay, one is the input yield, two speed on the next shaft means N1 and N2 is given. Okay, then what is the speed ratio? We know how to calculate the speed ratio. Maximum increase in speed in the transmission group, this you will get I max is in the stage is less than or equal to 2. Remember that. This N2 divided by N input, N input, okay, is always less than or equal to 2. Okay, is less than or always equal to 2. Remember that this is the first condition. Then second one, maximum reduction in the speed in transmission group. This is denoted by the I minimum. This should be greater than or equal to 1 by 4, or we can say the 0.25. Okay, all of you getting this N1 divided by N in is greater than or equal to 0.25 or 1 by 4 is there. Then what is the transmission range for the transmission group? This should be I max to the I minimum is equal to 8 is equal to 8. And how to increment is given, check that I max into I minimum is equal to 1. This condition you should be remember before going on the ray diagram. Then we will see how to construct the ray diagram. See, there you have given the transmission group. Here I have taken one example. See, here is a I is greater than 1 and I is less than 1 and I is equal to 1. There are three transmission line having the value I is greater than 1 700, I is equal to 1 having the value 500 and I is less than equal to 1 having the value 200. Okay, see there is a output and input speed is given. Okay, then how to calculate that? I is equal to 1 means there is a no speed will be changed, no speed will be changed. You will get the constant speed throughout from this shaft to the this shaft. If I is less than 1, I is less than 1, then what happen there? Speed is reduced, speed will be reduced. I is less than 1 means speed is reduced and I is greater than 1 means the speed is increased. Here we have shown, see, I is equal to 1 means 500 divided by 500. I is less than 1, speed reduction will get. How to calculate this? This 200 divided by 500. 200 divided by 500. And last is I is greater than 1, speed is increased. What is the increased speed? 700 divided by this input speed is a 500 is there. Okay. Then how to draw the this ray diagram? When you draw the vertical lines, then you should take the n plus 2 line. N means what? They are shown the number of shaft. If the number of shaft is a 2, then you have to add the again 2, then you will get the 4 vertical lines. Total number of shaft is a 4 and horizontal line is equal to z lines means number of total spindle speed steps. Okay, this nz is always greater than to the nem. What is the nem? Yesterday we have seen electric motor speed. Okay, this total number of spindle speed or maximum spindle speed is greater than the electric motor spindle speed. And second condition is a, when you're drawing the HL horizontal line, then you have to use the Z plus 1. When you use that Z plus 1, then remember that this NZ or maximum spindle speed is less than electric motor speed, spindle speed. Okay, all of you getting? Then next one, see, again I will explain. See, if the line is horizontal in this stage, then there is a no speed is change. This IG stage you will get the equal to 1. If the line is inclined, if the line is inclined, okay, upward from the left to right means IG stage is greater than 1, means what happen, the speed is increased. And last is a I is less than 1, means if the line is inclined downward from the left to the right, downward from the left to the right, then speed will get the speed reduction. Okay, remember that. In this way you have to draw the ray diagram. We'll see the definition of the ray diagram. A ray diagram is nothing but the representation of the structural formula. Okay, it provides information such as speed at in the each stage. Okay, you will get the information of the speed in each stage, and transmission ratio again you will get in the each stage, and also you will get the total number of speeds and its value. Okay, when you drawing the ray chart, then check that line in ray diagram. I have already explained vertical lines n plus 2, horizontal lines is equal to z if the condition nz is greater than nem, and horizontal line is equal to z plus 1, nz is less than nem. Okay, this ray diagram, we will see how to draw the ray diagram. We will take the one example. Ray diagram for the z is equal to 4. You know the structural formula, z is equal to 4, 2 into 2, and x is equal to 1, then p1 is equal to, x2 is equal to p1, then you will get the 2. Already we have seen how to find out the structural formula. Then z is equal to 4, stages, 2 stages are there, 2 stages are there. Okay, then check that how many vertical lines we have drawn. Here is a 3 vertical lines, 3 vertical lines. 2 number of stages means n plus 1 vertical lines, and horizontal lines, there are a 4 horizontal lines. Z is equal to what? 4 is there, 4 is there. Total number of speed steps. Okay. Then what is the structural formula? 2 1 2 2. We'll start from the center. 2 transmission line and gap is 1. Again you will get the 2 points on the second shaft. Then again you will get the 2 2 formula is there. 2 transmission line and gap is 2. 1 2 1 2. This is the structure diagram. Okay, with the help of that structure diagram, how to draw the ray diagram as well as the speed diagram, or it is also known as a speed chart. Okay, we know that 2122 is there. Suppose the minimum speed is, assume that data, minimum speed is 400. Okay, and nz is equal to, means maximum speed, you have given the 1097.6. Okay, and electrical speed, again you have given the same electrical speed, 1097.6. And how to calculate the range ratio? You know that range ratio phi is equal to Rn raised to z divided minus 1 is there. You will get the 1.4. This is the progression ratio, and range ratio is given 2.744. Then you have to calculate the 4 spindle speed. N1 is known and N max is known. You have to calculate the N2 and N3. How to calculate the N2? N2 is equal to N1 phi is there, and N3 is equal to N1 phi square is there. We know that formula. Then again you have to draw the ray diagram as well as the speed chart. First we'll draw the speed diagram. Yesterday we have seen 2122 is given. This actually we have seen in the structure diagram. Here we'll write only the spindle speed N1 to N4, and here you have to add the one more shaft. This is the motor shaft, and they are connected to the input spindle speed. Input spindle speed. Okay, all of you getting? Guys, see, they are starting from this point. Okay, not starting from the center. You can start here, but this speed will be get the at the end. At the end, both sides. Check that. This one and this one. Okay, then your speed diagram or ray diagram will be correct. Otherwise, will be wrong. Okay, means speed variation will get the in between the N1 to N4. Okay, then you can draw from the center also, you will get the correct. But what happen, you have to choose this shaft. Motor shaft is connected to the nearest input speed, or maximum input speed. That's why we have drawn here. See, 2 1 is there, same thing is there. We have drawn the horizontal line and this incline. Here is a gap is 1 and 2 transmission line is there. Again, see, here you have to draw the same thing is here in the ray diagram. Only you have to show how to speed is reduced. From the motor shaft to the shaft number 1, input shaft. Check that here. Then after that you have to draw up to the second shaft. Here is the speed is reduced. Only that point you have to consider. Okay, where we'll get the speed reduction in the ray diagram, that point you have to consider and show in the ray diagram. All of you getting? Yes, good. See, here is also 2 1 is there, and 2 2 is there. Same thing shown is here. And how to draw the kinematic gearing layout or gearing diagram or kinematic diagram? Okay, this is the pictorial representation of the gearbox. Okay, we'll get the arrangement of the gears. Okay, again we'll get the information like number of stages, number of shafts are used, okay, and number of gear pairs are used. All these informations are given to the from the gearing diagram. Then how to draw this? There is a 2 pair is there. Here is a number of shaft. We know that 1 2 3 shafts is there, and one is the motor shaft is there. Okay, here we have seen the DEM and DI. Okay, electric pulley, diameter of the pulley on the electric motor shaft, and DI is the diameter of the pulley on the input shaft. Both we have seen in the yesterday's lecture. On the first shaft, see, there is a movement is left side and right side is there, and we have shown the gear A, B and B dash is there on the shaft 1 and shaft 2. Okay, when these are moving to the left side, then we have shown here one more gear on the shaft 2. They will attach to engage to each other. A and A dash is there. Okay, or yesterday we have given the name Z1I, Z10. You can give the name anyway. Okay, 2 pair are there, and here is also 2 pair. Okay, you have to remember that at the last shaft, draw the minimum number of gears. Here is again 2 pairs are there. That's why we will show this. You can draw this 2 gears is attached on the shaft number 2, and show here only one gear on the second shaft. This is also correct. Okay, then similar way Z is equal to 6. For this again same thing is here shown, the ray diagram and speed diagram, also gearing diagram. You should practice this for the ray diagram, gearing diagram, and speed diagram. Okay, very simple. Then next part is that we want to the calculate the number of teeth and speed deviation diagram. Okay, first we want to the write the best structural formula or find out the best structure diagram. Okay, then again we want to the draw the structural diagram, ray diagram, speed diagram, and gearing diagram. Up to that we have seen, but how to find out the number of teeth and speed deviation diagram, speed deviation diagram. Okay, we'll see the one by one. First, see, I have taken here one example. The spindle speed is given 100 to 1000 rpm. Motor speed is given 1440 rpm. And you have given the speed series is R5. Means indirectly you have given the value of geometric progression ratio. How to calculate? We have seen one numerical 5 root of 10, then this value will get 1.58. 1.58. Then see directly here shown the calculation of that. Before going on that, once you have got the file, then you will calculate the number of spindle speed steps. Okay, here is a calculated, by calculations we will get the N1 100, N2 158, N3 250, 2.8, N4 395, N5 632, and N6 is a 995.4. But you should round up this value. Okay, don't keep as it is there in the decimal point. You should round up this all the value. Here is 100, 160, 250, 400, 63, and 1000 is there. Okay, these are all shown here, but that spindle speed, if you have checked the spindle speed is given, sorry, spindle speed is given, check that 1000 rpm, and that motor speed is greater than that uh, n maximum. Okay, n max value is given 1000 rpm and motor speed is given 1440. Okay, that's why when you draw the structure diagram or speed diagram, then you have to draw the one more horizontal extra line, right? Here, because here we want to the show the electric motor speed, this in between the 1000 and 1600, these are given 1440 is there. See guys, here is a, I will start from this point. Okay, then you will get this structure diagram. Before going on that, you have to calculate the structural formula. Okay, you know that structural formula, we have, I have assumed here you know that structural formula and gearing diagram up to that. Okay, I will skip these steps. Okay, you will get the in this way structural diagram and a ray diagram, also speed chart, and in this way gearing diagram, because we have seen already 2 to 3 example on that. Okay, then next one we want to the calculate the number of teeth. How to calculate the number of teeth? Here I have given one example. See, I have considered there are two shaft, input shaft and output shaft is there, right? I have shown here A gear, then B gear, B dash gear, and A dash gear, and that value I have shown 1000 here. See in the ray diagram, there is a 1630 and 400 is there. Here is a, I have given the name A, B, C, D, and E. See here a dark line that shown in red color. Okay, that speed we have considered in the ray diagram here same way. Okay, here is a AB is there in the first stage, check that first stage is there. Here is a only two speed we have the A and B speeds in the first stage. Okay, that speed we have shown in here ray diagram. A and B is there, that GA is greater than GB, GA is greater than GB, check that. the GA and GB. Here is a we have calculate. How to calculate that gear ratio? We know that input speed divided by output speed, or how to calculate that gear ratio? Again, output teeth divided by input teeth. But we don't know the teeth. We know the speed only. That's why we will calculate with the help of speed. Then how to calculate that? This center distance is always same. If the gear pairs on the parallel shaft have the same module, then remember that the sum of the number of teeth on the mating gear will be must be same. Okay, remember that this A means what? Number of teeth on the first gear pair. Okay, then this A dash is there, sorry, this B dash and B is there. This is again number of teeth on the second gear pair. Okay, and there is A dash is there. A dash and A dash again number of teeth on the first gear pair, because this A is engaged with the A dash and B is engaged with the B dash. Okay, and M is given for the module. You have given the module for all gears are same, and A is the this is the distance. Okay, center distance between the axis of two shaft. This distance are, you know, here I will write the formula. Center distance C1 is equal, CA is equal to CB. This distance CA is equal to CB, both are same distance. Okay, then you will get this formula. MZA plus MZA dash divided by 2 is equal to MZB plus MZB dash divided by 2. 2 do get cancel and you will get this formula. Then put this value in this equation. Here is the gear ratio for the A. Check that here. NA divided by NA dash. What is the NA? Spindle speed for the A shaft. Here is the constant 1000 is there. And what is the speed is reduced? 400 is there. Output speed is a 400. You will get the 2.5. If you are putting this value in that equation, okay, in that equation, then you will get the ZA dash is equal to 2.5 ZA. Okay, and how to calculate the gear ratio for the B? NB divided by NB dash. Again here is a constant speed is a input speed 1000 divided by output speed is a 630. You will get the 1.59 ZA dash. ZB dash is there. Okay, similar way, when you putting this two equation in this equation, then you will get the ZB is equal to 1.35 ZA. Okay, all of you getting how to get this equation? Okay, once you are getting that equation, then you have to calculate number of teeth in the first stage of the gear. Okay, then see, we'll use here minimum number of teeth on the gear is 18. Why 18? Because we want to avoid the interference of the gear when they are undercutting of the teeth for the 20-degree full depth involute tooth system. The minimum number of tooth to avoid the interference is Z minimum is given the 18. That's why we are choose the 18. You have to avoid the interference of the gear. Okay, that's why we have taken the 18. Above 18 you have to choose the number of teeth. If you have taken the number of teeth 18, then we have the formulas, some formulas we have calculated. ZA is equal to 2.5 ZA, ZB is equal to 1.35 ZA, and ZB dash is equal to 1.59 ZB is there. When you putting the value in that equation, 2.5 into ZA, we know the ZA, multiply this, you will get the 45. Again GA, what is the GA? You will get the, we have find out the 2.5 is there, na? GA is equal to 2.5 is there. Okay, then you can calculate the GA is equal to ZA dash divided by ZA is there. This divided by this, you will get the again 2.5 is there. And what is the CA? What is the CA again? ZA plus ZA dash. This is the summation of this one and this one, means this is the final total number of teeth. Okay, similar way for the this GB also you have to calculate the number of teeth for the first stage. Number of deviation in speed in stage 1, check that ZA is equal to, you will get the 20, then ZB is equal to, you will get the 27. If you calculate CA is equal to, you will get the 70, ZA dash you will get the 50, ZB dash you will get the 43, and GA 2.5 and GB is a 1.59. Okay, this value give the, you will give the correct answer. Okay, once you have calculate that value, okay, then next step is a, we want to the check that things are feasible or not. If you are getting the continuously decimal point, okay, in that value, okay, you don't get the all the value in integer number. If you are getting the only integer number, then this solution is a feasible. Okay, that's why we will get this solution feasible in the, when you choose the 20 number of teeth on each gear. Okay, we have choose the last one, we have choose the last one. Okay, then see next one is a similar way you have to calculate again for the next step, second stage. Okay, stage number 2 of teeth calculation, you have to do the same calculations. First we have seen how to calculate that, similar way you have to calculate that. What is the GC? Again see that here is the C, here is the input speed is a 400, this one is a constant. Okay, what is the NC dash? Here is a 400 divided by 630. Again GD, how to calculate this? 400 is the input speed divided by output speed, 250 is there, you will get the 1.6, and G is equal to, again you will get the 400 divided by 100 is there, you will get the 4 is there, and you will get this formulas. Okay, then if you observe, then this GE is greater than GD is greater than GC. Okay, then center distance is equal, that's why we want to use the module formula, this one. Again you will get the two different formulas, use this formula to find out the value of you will get the deviation in speed in stage or second transmission group, and you have calculate the number of teeth on each gear. Once you have finalized the number of teeth on each gear, then you have to check that there you will get the two different value, one is the n theoretical value and one is the n actual value is getting. Okay, means there are some conditions are given on the speed deviation. This is the percentage of the speed deviation is given. I have shown in the next one, deviation speed, how to calculate that 100 actual. See that there is a percentage speed deviation formula is given. Here is a limit of the speed deviation. Delta n is equal to plus or minus 10 5 minus 1%, and delta n is less than plus or minus 10 1.58 minus 1, you will get the 5.8%. Okay, this is the standard formula you have to use, and speed deviation is denoted by, or percentage speed deviation is denoted by n actual minus n theoretical divided by n theoretical into 100 is there. Why we require this? Why we want to the calculate the deviation, or why we need to draw the speed deviation diagram? You have to check the uh, your number of teeth, or this speed this speed permissible percentage deviation speed is in between the uh, input and output speed, input and output speed. If this speed is going out of limit, then your speed deviation diagram will be getting the wrong, or your calculations also will get the wrong. Okay, that's why you should draw this speed deviation diagram. Okay, with the help of that formula, check that here actual and theoretical speed we have calculated, and we have also calculated percentage speed deviation. Okay, this you will get. With the help of this three parameter, you have to draw this deviation graph is there. Okay, and this you have given the percentage deviation, speed deviation, and here we have getting the calculated spindle speed is there. Means there are two limits are given. Here is a lower limits is given, here is a upper limits is given. Okay, you have to check whether your speed is feasible or not with the help of that lower limit and upper limit. Okay, today we'll stop here. We have complete the unit number 1. If you have any query, then you can ask me anytime. Today we'll stop here. Thank you.